Back at Gorky Park, lads. Now I can actually show you. So here we are, entering the famous Gorky Park. I haven't read anything more about this place since I was last here, so I'm not going to be no help there. Pumping in the dance music today. Sometimes it's classical, sometimes it's jazz. It's all sorts. Takes all sorts to make the world. And here we are in the park you come into, or the garden you come into first, in the fabulous Gorky Park. On the other side of the gate, it's much what you'd expect. But yeah, now we're in Gorky Park. We're in this lovely rose garden area, and let's head over there and I'll show you some more. It's not as busy as it sometimes is. When I first got here on my first or second day, it was absolutely jam-packed. There was stalls and crowds and all the rest. There was music, everything was mad, it was great. But yeah, today it's a bit quieter. Well, it is a Friday today, so Friday in Gorky Park. So this is what it was like when I was here the other day, except imagine it packed with people and the sun being out. You know, not great that I'm telling you rather than showing you, you know, the cardinal rule of filmmaking, but we work with what we're given. Now, a little bit on the history of the place. So it was actually opened in 1928. I was wrong, it's not 1955 like it says on the main portal. Not 1955, opened in 1928, named for Gorky, like I said. Apparently I was right in that he was a dissident for a little while, but then he returned to the Soviet Union in 1932 and then died in 1936. He was a major founder of what was called the socialist realism movement, which I'll show you some more of that when I'm on the metro again. I'm going to do a whole video on the metro, show you how beautiful it is, how good it is, all the rest. But yeah, they opened it in 1928 it was originally meant to be sort of an agricultural, demo ground, as it were. You know, people would come and they'd show all their stuff. But yeah, it's just a big cultural centre now. Yeah, it's just a nice park. It's got lots of music, a lot of people walking through, beautifully manicured. But yeah, let's keep looking around. So, in a recurring theme in my time in the post-Soviet world, you can't quite see it that clearly, but that is a Galaxy Samsung shop in the middle of Gorky Park. In the middle of a park built specifically for rest and relaxation of the workers in the work estate, we now have a Samsung Galaxy showroom in Gorky Park. So yeah, but as you can see, pretty busy. Well, not as busy as it was. It's very quiet actually. This is a city of 15 million people, about 30 million if you count the wider area that people commute in from. But yeah, here we go. This is the main Platz, the main square, the main fountain of Gorky Park. But let's keep having a look. Just so you have a sense of the sort of stuff that happens here, we've got a whole bunch of lads playing table tennis. I've yet to see the stereotypical Russian thing of old men playing chess, or shakhmat, as it's called here. Shakhmati, rather. But yeah, so people just come here, Muscovites come here and relax. And it's the hell of a place to do it. Yeah. And that's a celebration for the 91st birthday of the place, 91, 2019, that kind of thing. Just ignore the Samsung, but yeah, here we go, Gorky Park. People playing table tennis, riding around on scooters. Let's keep looking. So this is an unattended little stand that I told you. Remember how I told you you could buy corn here, like ice cream? This is one of their stands. So if there was somebody here, they'd have, corn on sticks and everything, and you could just buy it hot, and then it's just a thing they do here. Maybe it's a leftover from Khrushchev, I don't know. Just a cool little bit of trivia. Everyone's in the place. Come on with the rain, have a smile on my face. So just having a sit on one of Gorky Park's many benches on the main boulevard. So up there, back up there, was the Samsung place and the fountain, and down there's towards the end of the park, towards a bigger sort of forest in the middle of the city. I have yet to go there. I'm not sure how open it is to the public, but that's their material. But I just thought I might share a couple of observations I've made about Russia. One being that Russia, and Moscow in particular, has very much embraced social media. I mean, you know, in other news, water is wet, but, you know, I just thought it was interesting. You see all the time people posing up against things, having their pictures taken, either with, you know, iPhones and Androids or whatever, or by very high-end cameras, that kind of thing. Maybe more so than in the West, or maybe I'm just not looking for it back home, but it's just funny to see all of these incredibly well-dressed women having their pictures taken by husbands and boyfriends. I actually got some footage of it for you. It's sort of funny. You do see it quite a lot. Yeah, so they've really embraced it, which is just interesting to see. What else? The other thing is that it's absolutely true what they say about Russian women. Half of them are model gorgeous, and the other half are all babushkas. So, interesting little bit of trivia that's proven to be true, or rather a stereotype that's been proven to be true. But yeah, and a little bit on the layout of the park. So as I said, I'm on this main drag, this main boulevard. Behind me is some more clear areas. That's towards the Moscow River, which I'll show you in a minute. And then on opposite me, I'll show you in a moment, is some more manicured kind of garden type areas. Now, I remember reading somewhere that in Soviet times there was an amusement park here, which I've yet to find, which I should look for. But I will, if I do find it, I'll show it to you. So I'm going to continue to explore, but I'm just going to enjoy a little bit longer, sitting in the serenity of Gorky Park. It's a lovely, quiet little area in the middle of Moscow. And I'll get back to you. Talk in a moment. See, this is what I was talking about. I'm sure they won't mind. You'll become Instagram famous in Australia. To all my 116 followers. So I'm not sure if you can see it that well, but you might be able to hear it. Got a Soviet skate park behind me. And I just heard some English being spoken, and it got me thinking about Moscow. It's not as polyglot as Berlin was, or as most of Germany was. You mostly do just hear Russian, but you do hear the odd other language, like it's usually English though. But I suppose that's a sign of the times, you know, this isn't as big of a tourist destination as, say, Berlin. So yeah, just a little interesting thing about the language makeup of Moscow. So yeah, here we go with our Soviet skate park. Yeah. Pop a gnarly kick flip, comrade, or something. Clearly, I don't know skating. I'm not cool enough, and I'm also not 14 in 2006. So yeah, there you go. Just another part of Gorky Park. Let's keep looking. Slightly better shot of the Soviet skate park. Well, I know it's not Soviet, but I want to give Bolton Bankrupt a run for his money, so. Soviet Petonk, or whatever it's called. In the middle of Gorky Park. And that was a good one. Soviet Petonk, everyone. You can take fitness classes, like yoga classes, in a little gym in Gorky Park. How times change, don't they? There you go. The Nike swish in the middle of Gorky Park. I don't know why I'm surprised. Like, the Soviet Union did fall in '91. Like, it's been a long time. But again, I'm trying to be the next Bolton Bankrupt, you know. Except I'm not Bolt. I don't have that much money, though, so 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, you know? Supposedly filtered water in the middle of Gorky Park. I'm not sure I trust it, lads. Soviet football while listening to American pop music. I won't try and humiliate myself by trying guessing who's singing this. I've heard the names, but I couldn't be sure, so... Soviet football, everyone. There they are in their yoga pants with their Nike swish in Gorky Park. Let's go back to something a bit more Soviet, like this lovely statue here. I think I'm going to go back to the Soviet Petonk and get some beer. Alas, I cannot get Soviet beer from the Soviet Petonk because it's cash only and I'm only carrying 200 rubles at the moment, which I think equates to about $4 in Australia. So alas, and the cost of a beer is 300 rubles, so a full $6. But yeah, there you go. Oh well, let's keep looking. So I'm here at the far end of the park at the very pleasant Golodzinski Pond. So you can see people potting around, and little pedal boats and all the rest. It's like Central Park in its own way, but I think I prefer Gorky Park. But then, this is me you're talking to. So I found this little memorial in the middle of Gorky Park, right near the pond. It's a memorial, I'm assuming, to female partisans and the part that women played in the Great Patriotic War, be they as regular troops, or as partisans. I think she's a partisan because she looks to be wearing civilian clothing, but she's got the old PPSH, the submachine gun that the Red Army loved. And yeah, it's just a cool little thing. It's very manicured, very nice, surrounded by red earth. I'm not entirely sure what that's for. It may have just been something as simple as, you know, red earth, you know, that kind of thing. Maybe there's no greater meaning to it, but yeah, just a cool little memorial right near the pond. Let's keep looking. Well, this is very cute. They've got little vending machines full of bags to feed fish and ducks and things in the pond. Isn't that nice? Very cute. Go get your bag, head over to the pond and feed the ducks. It's nice. Oh, the hardships we must go through in Moscow. Спасибо, что не ловить рыбу на пирсе, which means please don't catch fish in the pond. Just over there, we had a sign telling people not to get drunk and then fall into the pond. I love this country. And of course, the Moscow weather, the cruel mistress that it is, has started to turn. So I may have to find somewhere to eat and then head home. Oh well, it's been nice in Gorky Park today though. Right, so it's time to go to a restaurant or a bar or maybe home or whatever and have something to eat because the weather has turned. I had wanted to show you something that I saw on the Defense Ministry, which is just across the river, which I thought you'd get a kick out of, but I'll save that for the next video. Got my corn on a stick. I'm like a native Muscovite now. So, that was Gorky Park, all we could see of it. So behind me is the Crimean Bridge, which was built before 2014. And this is the sort of the stretch of the park near the river. I would show you more, but the weather has turned and I've finished my corn on a stick. Gotta go home now. All that remains now is to go home and read Martin Cruz Smith's novel Gorky Park, so I can actually place this in some sort of literary context, historical context, so I can feel a bit more fun when I come back here next. So remember, stay dandy.